Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to another book review. This one's going to be quick because it's a really short book, and I've been meaning to get this out, but my week has been really hectic with, life and summer vacation, things like that. And you can tell, what it is from the thumbnail, the title, etc. It's the illustrated Roger Zelazny. Once again, I forgot to check the copyright date. 1978. So this is pretty old, and it's still readily available on places like eBay. This one's a little banged up, and I'm probably going to give this one away because my original copy, filed elsewhere, was actually autographed by Roger when I want to say the first time I met him. He autographed this and a copy of The Hand of Oberon for my mom, because that's actually the book she was reading at the time, and we found out I was going to get to meet him, and that's where everything started. And so I rushed down there to the game shop that I was working at, brought a couple of books, and then we were able to have a nice long conversation that started our friendship rolling. Now, it was illustrated by a guy named Gray Morrow, who I talked about before in the Creepy and Vampirella archive reviews, because he had done a lot of writing, for that and a lot of other things, as well as some comic books. Give you another good look at that cover. Look at that. That's I believe that's Corwin and Jack of Shadows and some other characters throughout the story. A couple of the stories are in black and white. There is a really, really fun Jack of Shadows story in here, the Amber Tapestry, which was something I would refer to again and again as I was reading the Amber Chronicles throughout my life at various different times. I'm going to show you some images from that. Just, splashes of scenery. There's the crown of amber and different characters. I believe that's Corwin on the horse. But I should say my favorite picture is right here, because it's not only got Oberon in the background, the man behind it all. It's got this classic picture of Corwin and Eric in their duel, one of them any. And then here you can see these 9 images of the 9 princes in amber, which is really helpful when I was reading the book, because there's 9 characters. There's more than 9 characters in the book, but then the 9 princes, and being able to focus, on what they looked like. The first time around, it was hard. I would get a couple of them confused, Julian and Gerard especially, until later, and you could pick up certain details about them. And it was very helpful. I'm right now reading Sign of the Unicorn, so this scene with Random on the flying rocks was really fun. I believe that's Corwin again. A little more fancy than he really appears in the books, but Gray was having some fun with it. The other stories arose for Ecclesiastes. Tearjerker, if you're not leaking at the eyes at the end of it, there's probably something wrong with you. A very interesting story, and there's several other stories in here that I wasn't as big on. The Fury, and when Gray did these kinds of illustrations, I really didn't find them exciting. Where it's these quadruple columns with these. Just do the comic style, trying to make it seem less comic booky, and I think that was kind of why. You're using comic book style art. Just go with the classic comic book style. I believe Gray passed away a long time ago, along with Roger, unfortunately, way too young. There's even a Zelazny tapestry with other images. So you can tell that Gray really enjoyed Roger's work and read, a lot of it to get these kind of images. This one's one of my favorites because it's got the massive, what did he call it? The RV from hell in Damnation Alley, which was, you know, one of the few stories of his that was actually turned into a movie. And then it ends up with the doors of his face, the lamps of his mouth, which is all in black and white, and really actually shows off Gray's talent more than the color images, I think. There's something about black and white art, just for me, is just gets me right here. And then it ends with a very short 2-page sort of humorous comic strip called The Rock Collector, which I think harkens back to a Jack of Shadows story, as well as another story I'm trying to remember, the idea of getting, you know, blood from a stone, that sort of thing. But if you guys are big Zelazny fans, seriously, go look, and I'm sure you'll be able to find a copy of this. I got this one for $7 plus shipping a couple of weeks ago. Roger's really, you know, disappeared off the map, which is unfortunately one of the things that happens to authors. Unfortunately, with so many new authors, you know, trying to make their big break. But Roger really did a lot for the new wave of sci-fi and fiction and fantasy. And he even did some mysteries, as far as I remember, as well as a lot of collaborations. But if you want to see, instead of just read some of his stories, this is where you go. I know they did do a Nine Princes and Amber comic book. I think it was DC who did it, and I need to go find those in my collection this summer, and I'll probably break those out for you as well. But that's what I got, sort of in memoriam. Roger passed away on the 14th of June back in the 90s, and I wanted to get this out. I think about him every day. He was probably the biggest influence on my gaming and microscopic writing career, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. I hope you go check it out. If you don't already have it, go find yourself a copy, because it you know, like I said, great stuff. And I know a lot of my friends out there are big Zelazny and Amber fans out there, and I'll be keeping you posted on the Amber RPG game that I will probably run next year. I don't think I'll have time for it this year. I've already got my schedule booked solid. So I will see you guys tomorrow when we talk about the Nine Princes and Amber with the usual cast of characters, and then we'll be doing another show over on Connell's channel, the the movie review of Monty Python's Holy Grail. I hope to see you guys there. And until then, have a great rest of your evening. Love you guys, and I will talk to you real soon. Happy trails.